The Prison Experience, The Exit, Chapter 17. During the final days of the SAP program, I had to be extremely careful not to screw up. One can get a little excited when it gets close time to leaving. Prison looks a little different when your time is about up. Billy was getting out around the same time I was, and he and I hooked up a little more. He's a pretty easygoing guy and wanted me to go with him to the bus terminal when we got released. In some ways I wanted to go, but I could get a family member to come and pick me up, so I thought, and decided to go that way. There are some things one has to do before getting released, forms to sign and certain sign-out procedures, so we would see each other going through the process. After SAP ended, we had a graduation ceremony in the chapel, where we got our certificate. Afterwards, we had to move out to the SAP bays, and I was assigned a bed back in dorm 2. I had written Roger and Rosie that my time was about up and to prepare to come to pick me up when notified that I could leave. I sent them directions on how to get there and etc. I spent around a week or so in dorm 2 waiting to be notified and clearing out the stuff I didn't need to take with me and saying my goodbyes to the inmates that knew me. I had to start with a 15-year prison sentence. I completed the full sentence in about 7.5 years. I had cut it in half, but I worked my ass off to do it. The programs I did, along with the good time and work credit, added up over time. But 7.5 years was 7.5 years away from my son and important things I needed to take care of, but couldn't due to being in prison. I didn't know what I was going to go back to either. I knew my house had not burnt down yet, so that was one good thing. I think the reason it was still left was due to my neighbor. I have a neighbor who lives close to my house. If not for that, it would have been broken into and burnt down. That's just the way they do things in Mouthcard. The store was gone, and someone had later on broken into one of Dad's storage trailers and burnt it down. However, Roger didn't tell me that until after I got out. Guess he didn't want to upset me. The people who put me in prison and pushed hard had started a war on me. I knew that while going through the system. However, I met some really good inmates and others along the way who made the experience a lot more tolerable. Working at Blackburn Library was pretty cool sometimes. I learned a lot while working there. The day came when I was notified that I could leave Blackburn, and I called home to let Roger know that he could come and pick me up on a certain day. It felt strange leaving. We had been policed so much that I didn't know exactly if they were going to let me off the yard or not. Mom and Dad showed up at the gate, and I was notified that I could leave, so I picked up my papers, shoes, radio, and etc., and met them at the gate and loaded up the Ford Escape. The guard at the gate clipped my ID, and we were allowed to leave. I finally made it out. It was spring 2021.